Hello, everyone. Welcome to another pod edition of the Ben Lister Podcast Radio Show here on Hull Kingston Radio 107.4 FM. I have had a lot of big guests over the previous editions, and today we have a big guest as well. We are chatting with a broadcaster and a good friend of mine and a friend to Hull Kingston Radio. So please give a special Hull Kingston Radio welcome to the one, the only, Mr. Kofi, the smile maker, Smiles.
Yeah, what are you saying? Oh my God, Kofi, who are you wearing? How much you worth? Who are those shoes? Please, ladies and gentlemen, calm down. Calm down. I am just a man. I'm joking. I'm joking. Ben, how you doing, man? Thank you very much for having me once again on the podcast, man. You good? You all right?
Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you, sir. How are you?
Yeah, I'm all right. I'm good. It's what time is it? It's coming to the 3:30. It's been a good day. I got caught out by the weather though, because it was ridiculously bright and shiny. And I was like, oh my God, this is gonna be really, really nice. And you can go for a lovely stroll. Didn't really wrap up that well, and it was absolutely Baltic. So my post-work show was kind of like my post-show stroll was kind of disrupted because it was freezing, but it was my fault because I could have just gone back and then got the rest of my gear, but I was like, oh, I'll just leave it. Even though I was stood outside the building. I can't think properly when I'm tired. And usually I have this crash after doing the breakfast show, and I'm just like, oh, I can't think straight. I can't make decisions properly. I have to sort of go for a walk and then come for some food, and hopefully that will get me back on track. Hopefully.
Have you seen Mr. Levy at all recently?
I saw him just this afternoon, sat at his desk getting some work done, probably going over the stories and things that he needs to do for tonight's show. Episode of Look North, but yeah, see him out and about, chat to him. He's a good guy, man. My mum met him again for like the fourth time the other week, and like I was talking to my mum and she was sat in the car and I was like, Mum, there's Peter Levy, and she literally just like undid her seatbelt, threw the door open, just like swept me aside, was like, boom, get out of the way, and then rushed over to have a chat with him, which was quite funny. But yeah, priorities, isn't it? Priorities.
Yeah, when you're allowed thingy and guests in the studio, you probably should get your mum in the studio or something.
No, I really want to. I'm going to try to. I'm going to try and make that happen because I think she'd be great on radio. We do quite a lot of filming, and we've got some like film projects to come out soon. But I would love to have her in the studio. I think she'd be great. When she stops being shy, she loosens up. I think she'd be great.
Yeah, and yeah, that's brilliant. Anyway, 6 questions about your broadcast career, if that's okay.
That's all right. It's all good.
You ready to rumble in the jungle?
I'm ready to rumble in the jungle. Of course, mate. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, let's go for it. Question 1. Where did you start your life in broadcasting and your broadcast career?
Is it like, when did I get a professional job, or when was I doing stuff in broadcasting? So would this take me back to like university and doing stuff with my mates, just like for fun on the fly and things? Just either way. I think I probably started, I've wanted to do this sort of stuff for ages, be a presenter. Mainly I was like loving watching like the MTV Movie Awards. I love watching things like the Brit Awards, and I was like, I want to present that. I'd love to do that. I'd love to be on there talking about this sort of stuff, speaking to musicians, speaking to artists about the work that they do, the creative process, and, you know, speaking to film stars about making movies. Like I said, my friends and I, my 2 best friends, would always get together and watch the MTV Video Awards, where they would like green screen and Photoshop themselves into like movies that had come out that year, and we'd have an absolute great time just laughing and remaking our own stuff on the beach. So it sort of started there. I thought it was a bit of a hobby. I didn't think it was anything I could actually do. I've always been a big fan of the radio because of just music and the entertainment and the reliability that you can get from switching on your radio, or nowadays tuning in with, you know, one of these phones and stuff. But it sort of carried with me this love of conversations, this love of, I think it's probably best off saying storytelling. This love of storytelling, and I carried it with me through to university. And I'll be honest with you, I haven't looked back. Like, I absolutely haven't looked back. It's been an amazing joy. It's been just such a, I guess it's been such a beautiful sort of comfort blanket for me to have, just being able to speak to writers, artists, creatives, anyone who has got a story to tell, and figure out why they do what they do, and if they realize like the massive impact they have by sharing those stories, sharing those personal, intimate moments with the rest of the world. So I was doing student radio at Northumbrian at Newcastle University, and from there I sort of got a real taste of like, oh my days, this is what imagine being paid for something like this, or imagine getting a job in this field, just chatting, getting musicians and artists in. It was beautiful. It's class. So I would definitely say if it wasn't for like filming things with my friends on the fly, just messing around on the beach in Withensea, Open Wave, and doing my student radio, I possibly might not be here. It might have taken me a lot longer to get to where I am, I think.
Yeah, and also I remember as well, you said about the Withensea Pier that when that's done, you're gonna do a break dance on it or something.
Go break dancing and jump off the end for sure. I'll be up for that. You gonna come with me?
Yeah, you said about it. Have you done the break dance yet?
It's not there. Oh, he's in when the pier gets built, or on pier itself?
When it gets built.
Oh, it's not built yet. So I haven't been able to do it.
Are you gonna do the break dance when it gets built?
I could break down something, and I'd love to do a backflip on it, as long as like tide's in, and I'm not going to backflip onto some sand. Otherwise, that could be quite nasty. That could be terrible.
Brilliant. Question 2 now. Who were your early inspirations when you were starting out in your career?
Reggie Yates, Reggie and Dev, they were both on One Extra first, and then I think Reggie go to One first? I think Reggie went to Radio 1, and Zane Lowe. So Zane Lowe was doing this show called Gonzo on MTV2, and he would be playing sort of music from all genres. So he'd be like playing like new metal, he'd be playing stuff like Incubus and Slipknot, and then he'd be talking about old school hip hop like Tribe Called Quest and like Farside and stuff, and then he like might blend stuff into Aphex Twin and Chemical Brothers, and then he might bring it back around to talk about pop artists like Lynn and Marlin. And he was just sat on this couch in front of a green screen, just chatting to musicians and artists. And I was like, I want to do that. I want to be this guy. Do you know what I mean? It was like just seeing someone talk about all genres, all different types of music, and not have to bat an eyelid or not have to worry about it. I was like, I need to be doing this. And like, at the time, I think people were always like, people stayed in their lane with musical genres, and it was when music wasn't as freely accessible. You could download things from LimeWire and Napster and stuff, but for the most part, you took a risk with your finances buying a CD because you didn't know if you would like it, if it's a new band, or checking out a new genre. So most of the time, people would just stick to what they know. But I was like, I'd be downloading stuff, and then the stuff that I really, really liked, I'd end up buying it anyway. You know what I mean? I remember downloading like a Motion City soundtrack album, and then feeling so bad that I had to go back out and buy it because it was just incredible. But I would say definitely Zane Lowe, because he encapsulated everything that I was doing and wanted to do at the time, talking to different artists, musicians, or different genres, and just having an awesome time doing it. And it was different. Do you know what I mean? It's this New Zealander with like a shaved head, big old black frame glasses, oversized clothes that looked a bit torn and beaten. I'm like, wow, when was the last time this guy showered? And this guy showered, but he just doesn't matter. You know, when you think like, yeah, it was. I think, do you know when you think back to something and realize, wow, I didn't realize how much of this moment and how much of this individual that I was, enamored with, and how much that influenced me, until you sit back and think, actually, this moment or this individual had more influence over me than I realized. It's not a bad thing either. Certainly not a bad thing.
Brilliant. Yeah, and some of our early inspirations. Were you a fan of the old Viking FM with Stephanie Hurst and the gang?
Yeah, loved it. Stephanie, remember Pimp Daddy Dog?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember seeing these guys at Field and I was live, when it was at East Park. I think I was in year 9, so I would have been about 13, 14. It was in the summertime. I dyed my locks orange. So I was feeling kind of fly, and I was hoping that because I was going with a few girls from school and some friends, I was like, oh, I'm gonna ask Andrea out, but like I didn't because I chickened out. But I remember seeing all those guys out all the time. I used to listen to them all the time. I've met Stephanie Hurst quite a lot, and I think she's lovely. I think she's great, absolute top broadcaster. So I would let me put Hursty in that category as well, because I absolutely loved listening to Hursty and Pimp Daddy Dog on what was on Viking back in the day when they used to do like what was it on a Sunday night? They used to do this rude program called Unshaven Haven, and it was really like nasty. It was really like rude and watch. I remember being like 9, 10 years old because I had a radio in my room. So I'd go to bed. I pretend to be asleep and I'd put it up. I'd wake up, turn the volume up just like a little bit so I could hear it. And it was all like they do like parodies of songs and stuff like that, of like Shaggy's It Wasn't Me, and made them ruder, and they'd have all these like naughty conversation. I'm there like 9, 10 years old, like, oh, what's all this? What's going on? But yeah, I love that.
Yeah, and if ever you want to know anything about radio, you just ask Stephanie Hurst, because I know a good friend of hers who presents on our station now, who was our producer at Viking, a good friend of mine called Darren Leatham.
Darren Leatham. Has he got glasses?
Yeah, baldish guy.
Yeah, blonde. Oh, maybe I'm thinking of someone else. But yeah, glasses.
Yeah.
Glasses and blonde hair.
Kind of, yeah, but he's got a baldish look and he does an 80s show on our station.
I think I'm thinking the wrong guy. Let me just
Probably,
check.
I'm not sure. He knows
Mr. Darren Leatham.
Yeah, he knows some of your colleagues from the BBC. Because he used to work with James Picos, I think, or something. Anyway, question 3 now.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Sorry.
Question 3 now anyway. What
Sure.
is your favourite part about being a broadcaster?
I guess it comes down to that. I guess the core essentials for us of I just love storytelling or being a part of someone's story or hearing someone figure out the story, because I feel like I'm naturally quite nosy and I've always wanted to know the whys and things. So being able to sort of figure that out from all sorts of different topics is really special, especially when it's around stuff that affects people's lives and people's day to day and things. And I think like the whole thing about broadcasting and radio is that you've got so many opportunities and so many ways to tell a story and make it really impactful and make it funny or make it sad. You know what I mean? Deliver the right tone so it hits in the right way, so people know, you know, this is emotive. People know what to feel about a certain thing. And also, I kind of feel like because of someone who's been on the fringes of at certain times I felt on the fringe of society, not really sort of accepted, and not really felt like I've got a home, and not really felt like I've got a voice. Being able to sort of do this voice and being able to do this show and lend the show so people can use their voices, get their stories told, stand up and be heard, not be ignored. I think that's the best thing for me, because I feel like there's a personal responsibility here to use this platform that so many people out there, and I'm pointing outside the window right now, pay for the BBC, pay for the license fee. So we should be representing the people and allowing them to talk, allowing them to get their things shared and in due process. I feel like when people are acknowledged and people are listened to, it builds confidence, because it's like, look, then someone's listening to what I've got to say, someone's genuinely interested in what I say. It allows people to feel like they matter. Quite a lot of people feel like they don't matter. Some people feel like ghosts. I feel like by opening the doors, flicking open the mic and letting people come on and share their truths, share their stories, I think like that's what we should be doing in this role. You know what I mean? Especially, you know, on a local level, which travels on a national level, because it's, you know, I think you're more likely to have your story picked up in areas like ours where effects of some things, so I'm not saying everything, I felt a bit more viscerally on a local front. So yeah, I do enjoy giving a platform to people, allowing people to speak, allowing people to thrive.
And do you ever cross with the other regional BBCs? Do you ever speak with the other regional Yorkshire BBC people?
Sometimes I'm like, when these people, we've got a really good relationship with Lincolnshire, sharing stories. Like when people down here will tell us about stuff that's happening over there and we can't cover it, I'll get in touch with them, and likewise and stuff. And the Lincolnshire team are just generally really, really nice all over anyway. So yeah.
Brilliant. That's it for part 1. Do join us again in a bit. Join us in part 2 in a bit of the Kofi Smiles special. But for now, back to the studio.